Okay, sorry for the delay, and I will try not to ramble. I have a tendency to ramble. Happy Thanksgiving. I grabbed these dog tags off the net before I realized that you got those from Design Space. So when I go over to Design Space, we'll see those. But so this is with what you probably had. This is with my computer doesn't like having all these programs open. This is with a white background. This is with an offset, and this is if you want to change it to gray or something like that. So let's just go to Cricut. So um, when I brought those in, let's see if I can go all the way back out to the beginning. Probably not. That doesn't matter. When I upload these dog tags, Cricut automatically tells me, hey, don't you want to buy mine? So there we go. So now we got these. I'm going to get rid of those, delete, go back to these. Okay, these are ginormous, but anyways. So we need to add your text. You can, I just use Courier, I think, but if you type in Army, and then I will make a copy of that, Control D, it'll let me click off of it first. And hit Control D to make a copy, and I'll edit that with Dad. Okay, so now what you can do is once you get these in place, go ahead and make a copy of this whole design if you want, and that way you can just change the words before we get into making it permanent to where you can't change the text anymore. So you could just go over here to the layers panel, click on the first one, hold down shift, click on the last one, or I'll click on all of them, I guess, the way this stupid thing works, and hit Control D, and then drag those all over here so you can edit that separately. So, but I'm going to delete that just to keep it a little cleaner. So some people use attach and all that kind of stuff. When I've got a design, I like to weld things because Design Space tries to make everything undoable, but you know what I mean. You can do that with attach. I just find it's cleaner to just like take all three of these things, and then I I go to combine and just hit weld. I just weld them all together and just make it one shape. There's no menus, there's no sub, anything like that. It's just our design. So what we need to do is fill it in. The Cricuts want edges. Cricut doesn't see your picture. It doesn't know what's in it. It doesn't know that this is text. It doesn't know that these are circles. It doesn't know what any of this stuff is. All it knows is edge. And if you zoom in, everything that's not the blue is an edge. So this is going to cut out that circle. It's going to cut out everything. You need to hide these edges. So what we do in Design Space is create edges, delete edges, or we move edges. So in order to print something, you could it'll right now if you do print and cut, what it's going to do is it's going to print black because that's the color we selected. If we select another color like orange or whatever, it's going to print orange, but it's still going to cut every edge that it sees, every single edge. So whatever's sitting on top is going to just get printed, and it doesn't, like I said again, it doesn't know what it is. It doesn't care. It just sees that you've given it a bunch of edges, and it's going to cut what you told it to do. So let's get rid of some edges. What I'm going to do is take this design, go up to Edit, and hit Offset. Now, by default, it does like this, sticker offset like we did over here. This, Kiss Cut stickers look like that a lot of times. But if you want it to just be nothing, what you do is just go to this and hit 0. And what it's basically doing is making a copy and putting it, right now it's putting on top of it. You can drag it underneath is what you need to do, or you could just change the color of the one on top and one on the bottom. They're identical right now. A 0 offset is just a duplicate. And a normal offset is a duplicate with either fatter or skinnier edges depending on where that slider goes. So now what we need to do is if we want to make the back of these white, then we set the basic cut color. We can just do it basic cut for now. Just set the color to white. Or if you want to set it to this light gray or whatever you want to do it. We'll do it white for right now so it pops. And then so it looks like nothing's changed. It's actually white underneath there. If I hide the black layer with the little eyeball, it's actually white. But what we need to do is to get rid of all of the insides. And by doing that, we do contour. So we're going to click on that white one again. And in the edit menu, we're going to hit contour. And these are all the shapes that you can get rid of. Right, what we're going to do is just hide all the contours, which means every hole we want to fill. But now the problem is this, we don't want to fill this because that looks weird. We want that space in the chain, so we're just going to get rid of that one. If there's anything else you wanted to get rid of, like you could go in and, you know, get rid of a little hole right there where the chain goes in, but I think it'll look fine to just get rid of that one. And now we hit apply, and you'll see that it's all white. And what we really did was just filled in all of the gaps, except for that one we said keep that gap. Okay. So now if you wanted to do another offset, you can go in and do, because if you'd have done an offset of the previous one, you couldn't get the thick lines here. You'd have to go, you'll see well, you contour everything and then get rid of that one. And then you can do another contour if you want to, not a contour, another offset. And then if you go up a little bit on your slider, you'll see how it makes it a little wider. If we hit apply, that one turned gray by default. You go white again, and you see what we got. We got that kiss cut look. So you'd have to then go select all three of these and flatten it. So if you want to get rid of that last offset, just don't do that step. But as this stands, what's happening now is if I get rid of that, see, here's me rambling. So what we did is we took your initial design, we made a 0 offset, we contoured everything except this one space. Now we're left this copy underneath that's solid, and we're going to select both of those, right click it, and just flatten. And so now what Cricut really sees is this whole thing filled in. You know what I mean? It's all it is these edges. That's all it's going to cut. It doesn't know anything about this text anymore. We moved by flatten. This is one flat piece. The fact that it's got designs on it, it could be a rainbow, it could be any colors. Cricut doesn't care. It's going to hand it off. That's what print and cut is. Now it says print and cut. It's going to hand it off to your printer. It's going to print everything that it, you know, that's you gave it on top. But Cricut only cuts. That's all it does. So if it's handing off to your printer, it's one thing. So just remember, it's all about edges. So get rid of the edges by filling in spaces, either through contour or a combination of contour and then flattening it with something else. If you want something to sit on top of it, you sort of smash it into it like so all these other operations are like cookie cutters. This is more like icing. You know what I mean? It's not really really, it's not there. And now it's your responsibility to give the printer decent quality images. So sometimes you get stuff from the net and it's awful. And then if they're not vector files, they can be really, this is a vector. If you get a really fuzzy one, when you try to feed it edges, that's why you get these wobbly cuts, because you're giving it a bad edge. So that's why we tend to work with vector files. You know, I'll build vector files. What I do is normally go into Inkscape, and this is just a copy and paste off Google. And the bit, if you zoom in, you see how blurry this is. This is what I got from the internet, copy and paste. And this is what you get from Inkscape, from that simple trace. And then I just save this as a SVG. Well, I go to the node tool and delete any kind of crap I don't want. And then I export this as an SVG and upload it into Cricut. And then you go in, make an offset, either with a cool kiss cut or with a 0. Contour out everything you don't want to cut. You know, push the edges to where you want them to be. And then flatten everything, select everything and flatten. And when you hit make, it will, you know, well, it's too large. When you hit make, it's going to walk you through the process of printing that out. And, it won't cut everything. It'll just cut the outside edges of all these little deals and not inside of anything. That's what you did by Contours deleted those edges, the inside edges. So I hope that helps, and I hope I didn't talk too long. And again, happy Thanksgiving. Sorry about the delay, but best of luck with your project. Okay.